Yeah, we got another video. You see the title. This is 10 overrated NBA players, or I would say 10 of the most overrated players in the NBA. Some of the players, like I'll say right now, Sabonis would have been on the list if he was healthy this year, but I'm only ranking players that would that have played most of the season for the most part. Um, I will say straight off the bat, I have one honorable mention, Wemby. Um, I think Wemby's overrated. He's only averaging like 24 points per game. Very inconsistent. Seeing him disappear in multiple big games. Um, but I don't know. Maybe Wemby in the playoffs is a different monster. Speaking of Wemby though, to get started off with the list, I didn't want to start off dry, but for the most part, I would like progressively get hotter outside of De'Aaron Fox. Um, I want to start off with De'Aaron Fox because De'Aaron Fox was seen as this like top tier point guard literally just a couple years ago, and he kind of is still now. Because he averages 18 points per game, 6 assists. But I don't know. I feel like De'Aaron Fox should be averaging more. Like we've seen De'Aaron Fox last year before he had like injury problems, and the year before that be a very high scorer. Like this is someone who was averaging 25 plus points per game. But that was like kind of falling off. I will say his defense has gotten better, but I wouldn't say he's like a great defender. He's a good defender. I would say that he's a good defender. But I don't know. I think Darren Fox is over it just because like the conversations I hear him in, and really Darren Fox is just fast. He's not really a great shooter. He's had multiple games this season where he sold the Spurs out of a win to the, and it's almost to the point where people are questioning if the Spurs would benefit from trading Darren Fox for like a good power forward. You know, and if you want to compare his stats to Stephon Castle, which I don't have his Stephon Castle stats up here, obviously. Stephon Castle is only averaging what 16 points, probably more assists. Their stats are very similar. I don't know. Next up, we got John Collins. John Collins probably the weakest player on this list. Um, in terms of like how good he is, but I don't know. John Collins. This kind of has to do with expectations too. But John Collins just last year had a great season, averaging 18, 20 points per game with the Jazz. And he also had multiple seasons with the Hawks where he was playing great too. And he was expected to be a big part of what the Clippers are doing, and he's not really doing anything. Now, John Collins is not someone that people really talks about. So again, this is kind of growing. It's kind of hard to have like 10 definitive overrated players. So he's kind of withdrawing. But I really don't think John Collins is that valuable. I really don't think he's that much more valuable than someone like Obi Toppin or something like that at this point. Next is Mark Williams. I think Mark Williams is definitely overrated just because he's one of the tallest big men in the league who only averaged 8 rebounds per game. And I don't know, Mark Williams has a big. Usually, a big is like amazing at something, like whether it's offensive rebounding, rebounding in general, lobs, blocks, rim protection. I don't think Mark Williams is great at any of that. I think Mark Williams is very mediocre in pretty much all of the categories I just said. Maybe outside of like lobs, but he is 7'1" at the same time. Um, he's just kind of mid at everything that a big can do, and that puts you in the NBA, yeah, for sure. But like, I don't think Mark Williams can be a starter on any good solid playoff team. I know the Suns are a playoff team, but you're gonna lose in the first round. Obviously, I don't think Mark Williams can be a starting center of anything like that. Next is Rob Dillingham. Um, I didn't realize Rob Dillingham only played 27 games, or maybe is that only his games with the Bulls or something? He had 26 points last game. Um, yeah, he wasn't playing a lot with the Timberwolves. Okay, but everybody loves Rob Dillingham, like the TikTok people, the AAU people, like um, Rob Dillingham in college was crazy, yeah. But in the NBA, he hasn't really done nothing. He's supposed to just really just be a scorer, but since he's kind of smaller and plays more like a shooting guard, he doesn't really get minutes because his field goal percentage is not the best. He's not really a good playmaker, and he's not good at defense, so he doesn't really have a spot. I don't think Rob Dillingham is an NBA player. Um, and obviously, getting to the NBA is a huge accomplishment, so there's nothing wrong with being there's nothing wrong with realizing that he's not like a serviceable NBA player. But I do think he's still very overrated. But I will say this: maybe he could someday become like a Bones Highland because Bones Highland, short guard, he can score. Hopefully, Rob Dillingham can become that someday. But you know, next on the list, we got Herb Jones. Herb Jones is one of the best defenders in the NBA. Do not get me wrong, but Herb Jones' offensively is pretty bad. As you can see, he's shooting 38% from the field and 30% from three. Um, this plays a huge part when you're talking about a Pelicans team who's running a big, sometimes DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan has been starting recently. I know that. Then yeah, DeAndre Jordan who can't shoot, or if it's not DeAndre Jordan, it's UV Missy, and Derek Queen's not the best shooter either. Even though I guess he can stretch the floor a little bit. Then you have Zion who can also not stretch the floor. Then you have Herb Jones. Um, he plays a huge part of the team he's on. Like it just hurts the team a lot for him not being good at offense, and he's almost starting to get to a point where he's like a Dyson Daniels, where it's like, oh yeah, he's really good at defense, but offensively he's bad. But even Dyson Daniels is good at like cutting, exploiting mismatches. Dyson Daniels is good at playmaking. Herb Jones is only good at defense. So if he's not defending, you know. But next, starting to get into the top five of the most overrated players in the NBA. Nikola Vucevic. The only reason he's not higher is because he's been injured recently and he just came back recently. But ignoring the stats, because the stats don't really tell Vucevic's story. Vucevic is pretty good at offense, of course. Or when I say pretty good, it's a little bit overrated because most of these stats came from when he was on the Bulls. But even when he got to the Celtics, I think he had injury problems too, and they were just running a weird rotation. By the way, my problem with Vucevic is defense. Vucevic is one of the worst defensive bigs in the NBA. Just to keep it straight up, pick and roll, horrible at defense. He gets picked on during the pick and roll, and when the Celtics get in the playoffs, they're gonna see that. And even interior defense, Nikola Vucevic can't really jump. He's starting to get older, um, and he's kind of just like a cone in the paint. Like, I really think Nikola Vucevic may be the thing that holds the Celtics back from winning the championship. Because yes, his offensive upside could outweigh his defense, but I really don't see that at his age. I really don't see that at his age. That's my opinion though. But his top four is all All Stars. Number four is Larry Markkinen. Take this with a grain of salt. Um, as far as being overrated, I don't think he's as overrated as some of the players on this list. But Larry Markkinen is basically just the same thing as Nikola Vucevic. His defense, he's really bad at defense. Um, he's not a good playmaker, but he is one of the best. Like, oh, I'm gonna get a bucket type people in the NBA, especially if he's in like certain spots and stuff like that. Um, Laura Markin is great at scoring, but I will say I do think a lot of his scoring is like literally just because he's on the Jazz. But I do think Laura Markin as a second option could still average 20, 21. Wait, yeah, 20, 21, 20, 20. Oh my God, I was about to say 20, 22. What am I saying? 20, 21, or 22 points per game. That's what I meant to say. But Slightly overrated. Now, these top three, I definitely think overrated in pretty much every way. Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, um, known for being the 18-8 guy, even though I guess this season he's may average 18-9. Um, this also is a like a player that um it's negative points for like him being in a certain situation. Evan Mobley would probably be best at big, but at the same time, they play Evan Mobley as like a help defender, but offensively is not good. 18 points per game. It really just comes off of mismatch hunting and stuff like that. He's not really good at offense at all. Um, he is good defense, but I don't know. I really just think if you put Evan Mobley on a bad team, he doesn't really do anything. And another reason why I think Evan Mobley is overrated, I think some people would put Evan Mobley over Jaren Jackson Jr. And I really just don't see it. Like they both are very similar to me, but I would probably take Jaren Jackson just because not only is Jaren Jackson Jr. better at offense, but I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. necessarily needs a Jared Allen playing center for him and his team to do well. I think Evan Mobley pretty much needs that. I will say this: Jaren Jackson can't play center, and Evan Mobley probably could. But I think they're around the same type players, and I'll probably take Jaren Jackson. I don't know. It just depends on the team, I guess. But Evan Mobley's overrated. Next is Scotty Barnes, bro. I didn't see this until today. Scotty Barnes is not even the second highest scorer on the Raptors. It's RJ Barrett. Excuse me, but Scotty Barnes, he's good at everything besides shooting, basically. Um, 18 points per game. The way that people talk, man, some people talk about Scotty Barnes, you would think that he averages like 25 points per game or something like that. Scotty Barnes is very mid. Like, yeah, he's strong, he can drive, but he doesn't do it consistently enough, and he can't do it consistently enough to get more than 20 points per game. Um, he's good at playmaking, even though he gets a decent amount of turnovers. He's good at rebounding. He's great at defense. But like the way that people talk about Scotty Barnes, you would literally think he's. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like his offense. Like, and I will say with this top three specifically, a lot of these players are no, all of these players in the top three are good at defense, and it's just like their offense. I'm just like, it's whatever. I I really don't like Scotty Barnes' offense at all. I feel like if Scotty Barnes took a leap offensively, the Raptors could actually be contenders. It's just the fact that he can't shoot. Like Scotty Barnes can't shoot at all. Um, that just affects my brain so much, and to the point where I like don't care about the defense. And it's the same thing with like a Short Thompson, a Ben Thompson. It's just like I feel like there's a ceiling to those type of players. Like there's a reason why teams don't create championship rosters with those type of players. They create championship rosters with defenders that can shoot. Like even Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso can shoot. Even Lou Dort, even though he's like up and down shooting, Lou Dort can shoot. Scotty Barnes, Dyson Daniels, and Min Thompson, and Short Thompson. These players can't shoot. Evan Mobley can't shoot. But my number one spot is Jalen Durn, easily. Now this is harder to say, with you know, Kid Cunningham being out recently and the Pistons still doing good. But I don't care, bro. Jalen Durn is not that good. I feel like no, not players, big men who have like good systems and good playmakers around them get elevated to a point where they could average numbers like this. Then they get all stars or all NBA. Like we've seen it with Andre Drummond. We've seen it with DeAndre Ayton, even though DeAndre Ayton never made the All Star game or anything like that. But we've seen DeAndre Ayton average 18 points and like 11 rebounds. Seen Andre Drummond average like 20 points and like 14 rebounds. Like I think these type of bigs are overrated as fuck. And I think Jalen Duren's also getting that category. And defensively, I don't think Jalen Duren is the defender that everyone was talking about. Because like the way people talk about Jalen Duren, they talk about him like he needs to make an all defensive team. Jalen Duren is not that dude. Like he's not a crazy shot blocker. I wouldn't say he's a good shot blocker. Or okay, no, I wouldn't say he's an elite shot blocker or anything like that. I wouldn't even say he's like great. He might be a good shot blocker, but he's a big. There's a lot of bigs who are better at him at shot blocking. I can name like 10 bigs who are better at him at shot blocking. I can name 10 bigs who are better at him at protecting the rim. Like you also gotta realize the Pistons have defenders on their team. Like Cade Cunningham's a good defender. Obviously, I mentioned Ashur Thompson. Um, Darius Jenkins. I think I said his name right. He's a good defender. Um, he's a power forward off their bench. They have good defenders. You get what I'm saying. But again, if you wanted to go in the playoffs and rely on Jalen Duren to like get you some points, I don't think it would happen without like a screen, without like an elite play being called. I don't think he's up there with those type of bigs. And I feel like after this season, he will be put up there with those bigs. And I don't think he deserves it. Like, I doubt if you asked him to get a bucket, he would be able to get a bucket for him. Nah. But that's in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. I'm in the video right now.